We should probably reunite with the rest of the crew. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So, that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to One Piece, Season 2, Episode 3, aka Episode 1158. And last time, we had the East Blue Squad reunite in Elbaf. At least what appears to be Elbaf. We technically, I guess, don't know for 100% certain, but considering everything is huge here, including this Lego house area that they seem to be in, there's this giant cat that can also turn into a lion, maybe a devil fruit, a giant hedgehog and everything. It's like, we're assuming this is Elbaf, and considering this is the Elbaf arc, I feel like that also tracks. But I'm very curious to see, like, where this is going, because I wouldn't have expected this to be our introductory moment to, to the country of Elbaf. Considering we'd seen a little bit of it before in the Big Mom flashbacks and everything, this is just not quite what I thought we were going to get. I'm curious as to who put them in there. Who changed their clothes into these, I assume, what are going to be like dolls for the giants. Who put them into the Lego house with the Lego castle, whatever, with the cat and the hedgehog and all. My first thought is it's probably a kid because it's, everything's made of Lego. Or I guess maybe duplex blocks? I don't know. I'll just say Lego for sake of ease. But I don't know. It could be an adult. And we saw this brief glimpse at other people, and we assume they're probably giants, but at the same time, it looked like they were in also a Lego area. So maybe not? Of course, we didn't get any view of them comparative to any of our crew, so it's hard to say. They could be, humans who are living there. They could be giants. We don't really have that context. We did see them compared to the bees. And I think we saw the bees compared to the crew, or at least maybe a couple members of the crew. I think the bees were are just notably bigger than the crew. But they also looked like massive compared to those other people. And then you have to take into question perspective shots. So I don't know. I feel like we just need to see more. But yeah, every crew member who wasn't originally from the East Blue, we still need to catch up with. We have Chopper, we have Robin, we have Frankie and Brooke, and we have Jinbei. And I think Frankie, Brooke, and Jinbei are the three that are on the Great Eric still. I think Chopper and Robin were on the Sunny, right? Because I think it was mentioned that they were missing too. So I'm just curious where they're at. Maybe and hopefully they're together at least, because Chopper probably wouldn't be doing super well on his own. He is part of the cowardly trio. Not that he can't handle himself. It's just, you know, being alone wouldn't be good for him. He's 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 even though he's 17, like he's the same age Luffy was at the beginning of the series and Usopp. Um he's still a baby, like in terms of his personality in a lot of ways. And again, he's part of the cowardly trio, and it's just like being alone in somewhere. It's gonna. I feel like it would be tough for him. Robin would be fine. Robin's gone off on her own before, like in Skypiea. She'll be fine. But Chopper's another story. I'm just I'm just curious as to how this is all going to like come back together, because I assume the crew's going to come back together for a number of reasons. Now, we've been looking forward to this arc since like what, 25 years ago? And I'm very, very hyped to see where this goes. I've said before that I know a couple of things just because, One Piece fans are shit with spoilers and will spoil everything even from the point of leaks. But I most of what I know is not within any context. It's mostly just, character designs, and I've seen some images of some stuff. And I feel like I'm still like vast majority spoiler free, so as always, no spoilers for anything. I will tell you when there's something that I know. Not including stuff from the opening, because there's a lot in the opening that I already know about. At least, again, to some degree. But I'm not going to mention that stuff yet because it hasn't actually happened yet or been shown yet in the series proper. But there are some things I do know about that the opening kind of gets across. Or just, shows. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know what to expect. I'm very curious. So I'd say let's just get into it and find out what we have in store. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And welcome to the Afterthoughts. We will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I realized at the end of the reaction, the way I reacted there almost made it seem like I was like upset or like really annoyed by the episode or something. I wasn't. I just want to make that clear. Like, the kind of like face palm thing I did and like rubbing my face and all. I wasn't like annoyed. I wasn't like bothered by anything. It's just I was just like noting that this is just like wild. This is just wild and crazy and weird and very interesting. So yeah, we have a block kingdom here, which is basically a playset. A playset for this giant who surrounds the entire thing with mirrors to make it kind of look infinite. But all the people within it don't seem to realize that it's a playset. When they're put in, they wake up here and they just like assume it's like a new place, and they apparently, I guess, just try to live here and make life here. The giant wears this costume and pretends to be the sun god, who we know is Nika. And all the animals are, I guess, lesser gods. In reality, they're just animals. I assume they're the pets of this giant, which also means they killed and ate a pet, as well as drastically hurt a couple others. It's like, that's something. But based on the size and like body shape and everything, this doesn't seem to be a child. So that's fascinating to me. I mean, not that adults can't play with toys and stuff. They absolutely can. And honestly, we should never try to shame or hate on any adult who does play with toys. Like, Legos are very popular even for adults. You kidding me? Adults love to do like Lego build competitions and whatnot. It's actually very, normal. But the difference here is that with the character we see, they seem very like upset by everything being destroyed, by their animals being attacked, and very like the voice is clearly a masculine voice, but that could very much just be Toei trying to like trick us. It could be anyone. And it's just impossible to tell at this point. Like much info about them other than they're very clearly, again, not a kid. Unless it's a kid in like some kind of like special suit or something that makes them appear bigger. Like some kind of suit that like they have stilts and shit or whatnot. I guess that's possible, but I feel that's unlikely. I just feel like this isn't a kid. The outfit is just, fur and a skull and a staff. It's not that special. It's very simplistic. Um, and then we have like just the fact that like even like outside of context and everything, they called the workshop and everything where Chopper was being held at, where the animals were, they called it their temple. So it almost sounds like, which is what like the people inside the block town are calling it. So it kind of comes across as they are childish, even if they're not a kid. That's about the most I can like get from that, though. But yeah, we have reunited with Chopper. We have not seen Robin yet, though. So I'm curious about that reuniting. And then, of course, the rest of those on the Great Eric we still have to account for. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to, like, get into and touch on in regards to this kind of stuff. And otherwise, this episode, like, there wasn't much else to it. We did get to meet this guy who was riding a grasshopper like a motorcycle for some reason, because that was a thing, I guess. And this guy was clearly not a giant. We got that view, even though I was a little confused based on the angles they were showing him at. But yeah, he's bigger than them, but we've seen many humans who are bigger than our normal crew. Hell, and even in some cases, our crew does vary in that regard too, because Brooke is technically a human. He's just, skeletonized. He's tall as fuck. Frankie is a human, and he's quite large. Though he's a cyborg, and he's only as large as he is because of the cybernetic enhancements that he had post time skip. To be fair, he wasn't, but he was still normally a pretty big guy compared to even the rest of the crew, even in the pre time skip. And then we've just seen various others throughout the arcs and everything. It's like characters just vary in size wildly. Wildly. So it was it was a little hard to tell with some of the angles at first, but yeah, I guess he's just another human. I assume everyone here is then humans who had been taken by this giant. So we're presuming then that this giant somehow took them while everybody was drunk and asleep. But they would have needed to take the entire Thousand Sunny, which means either they are or were at least on the ship. Another ship came, or the Thousand Sunny at some point did drift to Elbaf's mainland, and they picked them up from there, maybe on the beach. I'm very, very curious to find out more about this because I feel like this is gonna be kind of important to know, and for reuniting with the crew and everything, the rest of the crew. I don't know where this is going right now. This is just such a weird introduction. It's not what you would expect at all. But it does get you used to the scale of things. It absolutely expresses the scale within these first 3 episodes of the arc by showing not only that, they're small compared to pretty much everything in this block kingdom, but then showing the temple outside of it to show that this block kingdom is basically just a playhouse, and that there's a temple outside of it, which is just a room in, I don't know, a castle, maybe not even a castle, just a regular house, even possibly. It really expresses the scale well. It's just so odd. and I don't know if I've made this clear at this point. This was not something I knew about really ahead of time. I knew that there was I knew that Nami woke up in some strange looking location. That's literally it. I knew that Nami woke up at the start of this arc in some other location and it looked odd. But that's literally all I knew prior to this arc starting to air. I didn't know it was an entire kingdom made of blocks. I didn't know what this was going to feature at all. This is all new to me. This is stuff that hasn't been spoiled for me. And again, most of the spoilers I have anyways are out of context. So even if it had, it's I don't think I would have known about everything anyway. I might not have even known about the animals, which I obviously didn't know about. I have never seen an image of this giant, at least in this outfit, with the skull and the fur and the staff and everything. I have never seen this design before. Now, again, I don't know who they are underneath that outfit, but this design I have not seen. So that's good. That means that there's probably also a lot more that I haven't been spoiled on, which I, already figure. I figure maybe, I don't know, somewhere around 20%. of stuff within this arc is stuff I've been spoiled on. And honestly, that might be pushing it too, because again, I don't have context for mostly anything. And the stuff I have been spoiled on is like, again, mostly stuff like character designs and whatnot. And I guess in some ways the existence of a couple characters, because like they're new characters and everything. But it's like I don't have all the details on all of this stuff. And again, I prefer it that way, but I wish I didn't have anything. So obviously, again, do not spoil me to anything coming in the future. Do not spoil me to anything that hasn't been revealed yet. Because even if I have like some stuff that I know about, it's going to be out of context for the most part, outside of maybe a couple things, which again, I'll get into when we get into that stuff. It's going to be out of context, and it's going to be just mostly character related stuff. Plot stuff I'm almost entirely blind on, so. But also just don't spoil in the comments anyway, like even if I did know what was coming. Don't spoil for other people either. Don't be an asshole. It's really that simple. But yeah, hope that you've been enjoying these reactions. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.